Welcome back to Cards and Comics. I have another mail day and sort of like a collecting update because I have been opening a few modern boxes, mostly just Bowman. I did get a couple boxes of Bowman, opened them up, with the arrival of Ellie De La Cruz, that was kind of the impetus. But I just wanted to, open up some product to have some fun with some modern rookies. And so going back, here's a card I did get. It is a Ellie De La Cruz tops. It is paper, but it's numbered to 99. I think it's 41 out of 99. So there you go. Nice card. It's just paper, but it is numbered 999. And, it's a cool rookie card, starting somewhere. I do have one rookie card of him. Now, going to opening up product, here's just some highlights of the Bowman product I've opened. Here's some Drew Jones cards, some base paper. Here's chrome. Here's some inserts. And then Ellie De La Cruz, I did get some paper, one chrome, and a couple inserts. Now, this is basically the summation. The amount I accumulated over two regular boxes, two retail boxes, and 4 blasters. So if you combine all that together, that's not a lot of these cards compared to all the product I opened. So it's hard to get certain players, that if you're saying I'm going to get a De La Cruz in every box, that's just not going to happen. And you're not going to get but a couple of them. If you open up 3 or 4 boxes, you may only get 2 base chromes. Makes the cards a little harder than you think, even though it's printed, through the wazoo. You don't get as many as you think you are when you open that product. Next up is the 2 auto hits. So I got, my big one was the Junior Caminero, blue Refractor auto. These are numbered out of 150 still, I believe. Trying to see what's on the front. Yeah, it is right there. Yep, numbered out of 150. So there you go. Junior Caminero, blue. This card does sell for a couple $100, so that was a good hit. Next up is a purple, I'll say this guy's name wrong, Maroshindrick Martinez. Does not sell as much, so this is numbered out of 250. I think this card may be an $80 card, maybe $100 card at max, but not as big a deal as the Caminero. So there are my 2 autos, both color, which, hey, it's about the best you can do. Now, moving on to my mail day, I'll just end up, with my last modern baseball card here. I did pick this up. I felt like I needed to get some Ohtani autos for my collection. So here is a museum archival autograph, number 21 of 50. Just got it because it's a clean on-card auto. And I'm just going to, have a few of his autos, put him back. I've got some rookie cards I put back. So, I might take those to the National and just see if folks are interested in trading, but show you the back. But again, very clean and nice Shohei Ohtani auto there. All right, moving on to the rest of the mail day. So I'll start here with the non-sports and go through that really quickly. First up is a really interesting card. So I always search for DC sketch cards. This came up as being the Justice League. I'm like, yeah, this is the Aquabats. Like, for people who like ska, I'm a big ska fan. I'm also a huge Aquabats fan. Aquabats had its own TV show. Just a really fun band. The lead singer here started Yo Gabba Gabba. So if you like that show back in the day, he actually started Yo Gabba Gabba. So the guy's really smart. The band itself is a lot of fun. So I'm always a big fan of of this band. And, they got Jimmy the Robot. So they got some really cool. It's a really nice sketch card for, and it's not out of any product. It's just, someone did it on their own to sell on eBay. So I picked it up and I thought, like, wow, that's really for me. Next up is just a cool Spider-Gwen card or Ghost Spider card out of Annual 2122. Just one of the inserts is really shiny, so I grabbed it. But the big card I got that's going to go off to grading is going to be this Ghost Spider Platinum Portraits out of Metal, last year's Spider-Man Metal. For people who don't know that product, it's just like all other Metal Universe products. The Platinum Portraits are your hardest to hit insert. So they are kind of the big chase for that product in terms of inserts. Now, a lot of people, say the PMG Emerald is, which I agree, that's numbered out of 10, but these are incredibly hard to hit and have real high ratios, and they're harder to hit most of the time than the Jambalaya. So to me, it's kind of like Jambalaya, then this, and then the green PMG is kind of maybe the ultimate hit, but this card is really hard to pull, so I'm going to send this off to PSA in my next sub. All right, moving on to hockey. So here's a few hockey cards here real quick. First up is, again, Metal Universe, Mark Scheifele, Platinum Portraits. I've got the Connor McDavid, and I thought maybe just put together slowly the whole Platinum Portrait set just to have them, because I think they're cool, hard to pull. Again, just a fun card to have. It wasn't very expensive. Next up is a card that's out of the recent Flair Ultra hockey set. This card is the exclamation points product card. Anyway, this was an insert set that was like in basketball and football, so it's designed a little differently than those cards were. But it's acetate. It's cool looking. There's a gold version of this card as well. So I got the Connor McDavid, and I want to put the whole set together. I've got almost like half the set already on ePack. That's now on my COMC account. So just kind of fun, cheap inserts, relatively cheap inserts to put together, and I think they look cool. They did a great job on this Ultra set, by the way. There's some really cool inserts in there. The Meteor Shower cards are just awesome looking. So yeah. So good execution on that set for the most part. There are some things I don't like, but that's with every set. Next up is a Donruss Elite. Going back, this is let's see, this is 93, I think. Yep, 93 Donruss Elite. Wayne Gretzky Elite. This was a tough pullback in the day, numbered out of 10,000. So I really like this design this year. Really, really, really cool. 92 was in baseball, like kind of like the Alpha and Omega design. I just showcased in my last Griffey video. I finally got the Griffey Elite in my collection, graded by PSA. So that, from a design perspective, is number one, probably for all collectors. But this design's, I think, pretty cool. Still really refractory and shiny. And again, at the time, this was considered a low number card. And again, not too expensive, but I think it's just cool to pull, pick up. And then next up is just a base McDavid Platinum Peachy rookie card. This card's really come down. This card was, I think, over $200 at one point during the hockey season, during the playoffs, and they got beat. So I picked this up for $100. So I thought it was a good deal. Connor McDavid just won the MVP again, so I'm pretty sure his rookie cards are going to continue to be in demand going forward. All right, moving on to some miscellaneous sports. This is probably the big card, and I picked this up on Father's Day. I really wanted this card for a long time, and I don't collect basketball, right? You don't hardly ever see me with basketball cards. But when I buy basketball cards, it's stuff like this that I love. This is Soul of the Game, Michael Jordan. This is like, one of the few basketball cards I really covet. The other two inserts I really want to get of Michael Jordan is Noise Boys and the the Go Nuts card, or the Dunkin' Donuts card. Those are the two that I really, as a kid, really wanted. And with this card too. Now I've got the Griffey and the PSA 10. I just bought it again as a PSA 9, so I got multiple copies of the Griffey. And I can't afford this in a 10, but this was I felt a really good deal in a BGS 9. And just on a side note, what's going on in BGS cards? Some of them are in free fall. I have been able to pick up some BGS cards super cheap lately. So it seems like BGS is just not holding value very well right now. And so cards like this, which everyone would agree 5 or 10 years ago that this was a well graded card that people would say is a 10, or sorry, is a 9. Now it seems like, compared to PSA, the value just isn't there. So I don't know what they're going to do about it, if they're going to fix it, if they're going to try to, build the brand back up. But it's helping me pick up cards like this because I trust the grade, honestly, and it's a great looking card, and I'm super happy I finally picked one up. And then the last card is just a card I picked up. I'll probably give this away on the channel at some point, just to have, a card to have fun with. It's not a big card, but it's a card that people just generally want in their collection, the Tiger Woods, Upper Deck card. So it's just kind of a fun card. And again, it's a BGS card, and it was super duper cheap. All right, moving on to the very few football cards I have. First up here is this, I think it's called Mail Day, or it's basically supposed to look like a stamp from Pacific Revolutions, and I want to say this is, let's see, 1997. So it's a cool card. It's really, really condition sensitive, and you can even see a little white right there on that tip. It's just hard to get this card in PSA 9 or better shape. So this is just going to be a card I put in my collection. I'm not going to grade it. It's just not going to grade high with that amount of whiting on some of those edges. So picked up pretty cheap, and it's a cool card. And if I can find it in a 9 or better, I might buy it again in the future. And last for the football and modern or 90s football is this Upper Deck Retro Chris Carter incredible on-card auto. And I just love this set. I have the Griffey auto in this set. The two Griffey retro autos I have. I just think that's one of the nicer insert sets of the 90s, all on card, and I think they just did a great job with the design. Very simple, but it just pops on the card, and this card was super duper cheap for a guy who's a Hall of Fame player. It's, grade an 8, but it's really about the auto, and it's very clean. All right, moving on to, let's say, more of the 90s cards, and we'll start with some miscellaneous cards of players I picked up. Here is a fresh ink from Fleer Mystique. So I want to say this is probably 90, probably 99. I was going to guess. Yep, 99 Fleer. There you go. Tony Gwynn, numbered out 250. So this was a short print. I just think the design is amazing. And Tony Gwynn's got one of the nicest autos in the game. Just love that auto. It's all inside the circle, man. He was trying hard to make that card look great. It's got one little chip there in the bottom, so I won't get this card graded. I'm just going to leave it raw. I like having Tony Gwynn autos. It's unfortunately he passed too soon. He's already gone, so there's not going to be any more Tony Gwynn autos, unfortunately. So I think these on-card 90s cards are just super undervalued, like insanely undervalued. The Kirby Puckett's worth a lot more than Tony Gwynn. And Tony Gwynn was a much better player, in my opinion. So, or even statistically, probably not my opinion. I think it's a good thing to look at, his autos, if anyone wants to find something a little undervalued in the 90s market. Here's a 1999 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor Mark Grace. I just got this because I thought it went cheap. Again, number to 100. This is number 5 of 100. And again, that's what it looks like. So for people who want to see what the Atomics look like from 99. So I've got the Griffey coming in of the Atomic Bowman's Best. I should have it next week. So I am, very, very happy. That's been on my want list for many, many years. And I also said, I think in one of my videos recently, that I'm probably going to start just super collecting this 99 Bowman's Best set. Back in the day when I was collecting Matt Holliday, this was my favorite set. I was opening this product because it was super cheap to get Matt Holliday rookies and refractors, and just because there was so much content in those boxes, autographs, that I was just buying a lot of 99 Bowman's Best when it was cheap. Now it's not quite as cheap, but it's still cheaper than modern boxes. So I'm going to keep opening this product, collecting the the Atomics, and just continue to build my collection. But now I have, both Griffey refractors, base refractors, and I have the base best performer. So I need the Atomic best performers, and I'll have pretty much, a lot of the Griffey content in this product. but there's autographs and some other really cool stuff in this set too. So I'm super collecting this set a little bit, just because I think it's one of the nicer looking sets from that era in terms of the etching, which is just everywhere on this card. It just looks really, really cool. I'm just really loving this set, and I'm just going to keep collecting more of it, and I got a mark race. So moving on to Derek Jeter. Here is one of the, this is I think 1996. Yeah, 1996. This is a refractor, but it is a preview refractor. So you can see it right there by that P Bowman's Best preview. So it's not really worth that much because they were not hard to get. And this one's got a giant ding in it. And again, I said in my Griffey video, a lot of these cards came in when I was traveling. I was in Holland. I was, out of pocket for basically 2.5 weeks. And I came in and I opened mail at some point and found this card and realized it's got a big ding in it. But it was kind of over at that point, so I didn't get a chance to send it back. And it's fine. It wasn't a very expensive card. Now, next up is a card that is very nice. It's not super duper rare, but it's cool. And it's the Donruss Collections. I think these are the limited exposures or the, gosh, I always forget. Or no, it's the collections or whatever. But these are the refractor versions of those cards. And these cards are just super nice for people who don't know this set. If you have a player that you collect that's in this set, I would get it. Now, the way this set worked and why it's complicated is that they call it collections because basically it's got Donruss, Leaf, Donruss Elite, and Donruss Preferred in it. So you got Leaf, Elite, Donruss, and Donruss Preferred. I don't think, trying to think if Rookies and Stars, I don't think it's in the set. So it's just like it's those sets all together. It's kind of like Chronicles, right? And then the insert, which the only real insert they had was these cards were all refractors. They had a refractor version of these cards. But so different sets had different insert ratios, where the Donruss Preferred was the hardest to get, and the Donruss was the easiest to get. I think it went Donruss, Leaf, Elite, and then Donruss Preferred is the order of rarity for those cards. Now, I just had a Griffey graded PSA 9 Donruss card. So again, these aren't the hardest to get, but the cards themselves are very thin and easy to damage. So they're not the easiest cards to keep in good shape. So this one's going to go out for grading at some point because it's a very nice copy. Very good edges. Just a really good card. So I'm going to get this graded at some point. Probably on the slow, cheapest route. Now back to the 99 Bowman's Best set. I mentioned autographs, and here is one of the best ones. This is the 99 Bowman's Best PSA 9 Derek Jeter. And you can see that is a sweet on-card auto. That is a really nice auto. Card graded at 9, and you can tell it's real because it has, well, right there. There is that little top stamp. So this was an impact pulled on-card auto from the 90s. Derek Jeter, and it went really, really cheap for what, I think I paid, $250 for it. Which to me is cheap for a Derek Jeter on-card auto from the 90s. But again, the Bowman's Best set for 99 just is always cheap for some reason. It's gaining some popularity, but because there was a dual auto of Jeter and Mattingly I was actually trying to buy a couple weeks ago, and it went really, really high. So people are aware of some cards in the set, but I felt this was a really good deal for that price point, $250. And so adding it to my Bowman's Best 99 set collecting. And last but not least is this interesting card from 1999 Upper Deck. This is a View to Thrill triple. Don't know much about this card. I didn't collect a lot of 99 Upper Deck, honestly. But this is numbered out of 100, so it's numbered 68 of 100. And it just looks really nice. Just a really, really nice looking card. A lot of die cuts, and this graded an 8, but it's due to how intricate the die cuts are. It's still a really nice looking card. A little white on that tip there, but just a nice, bizarre looking 90s Upper Deck card. Tons of die cuts, but it's numbered out of 100. So really happy to add that to my collection at a pretty cheap price point, because if that was a Griffey card, people would have gone bonkers and it would sold for a lot more. Now, ending up with my Frank Thomas collection, here is a, I believe it's a 2000. Yep, 2000 Fleer Ultra. This is Ultra Talented. These cards are really nice. They're very condition sensitive, very foily, very refractory, and they are numbered out of 99, 14 to 99. And there's the Frank Thomas. And so the Griffey is on the list for me as well, but they don't come up very often. These cards are pretty tough. You don't see them for sale very often. Honestly, they're pretty tough pulls. I think they were maybe the toughest insert in the whole entire set, and they're numbered to 99. So there you go, ultra talented Frank Thomas. So next up is another number to 100 insert from the 90s, from 1999. This is the finest sterling refractor gold of Frank Thomas, and there you go, number 53/100. The dual-sided refractor is always awesome. So this card, you can see somewhere right here where the protector is starting to bubble up or kind of self-peel. So I am going to try to peel this card and grade it unpeeled. So I don't peel a lot of these cards because I've had experiences of damaging cards that have peel on them. So I've got some friends of mine who peel, and they're going to give me some pointers. So I am going to try to peel this card because I feel like it's already in a stage where it needs to be peeled, because you can see that it's starting to pull up anyway. And I want the card to get graded eventually and get the best chance at a good grade, because I do think these gold refractors are starting to really take off. The Griffey cards are kind of out of sight, and I think Thomas, Jeter will follow pretty quickly. Not to that level, but just the fact that people want them. And so we'll see. I'll give you an update, but this is definitely going out in the grading pile. Next up is a card I want from a Griffey. It's the Gold Team. This is right here, certified. I believe this is 96, or I think it's 96. Certified Gold Team. These cards look so much better in hand when you really get them, because they're hard to photograph. When people take photos of them, they're really dark. If you don't give them the right light, they don't really shine. They can be very dark looking. The depth, the 3D effect is easy to miss on these cards, and even the fact that there is, that. Oh, sorry, it's 95. Sorry, 95 select certified. You miss those details, how just cool that card is. And so anyone who's had these cards in hand really realize just how sweet they are. So not an expensive card, but something I just wanted to have. And I'm looking for the Griffey as well. But again, they're not super expensive. And last but not least, I picked this up honestly just because I already have this card, but the card I have is off center quite a bit. So this definitely is an upgrade. A 1996. Yep. Frank Thomas Gold Refractor. There you go. They're not numbered. You got to remember, in 97 is when they went to the embossed refractor. So this is the hardest to get refractor in 96. So I'm just happy to have this now in a condition that is standard. Not off center, not have a condition fall that I just hate. It is peeled, so you can see it is peeled compared to like the card I just showed you, the 99 card, which has the peel on it. So I eventually want to get this peeled to get graded, and hopefully it grades at least a 9, because that would be a beautiful outcome for me to get a 9 or 10 on that 99 refractor. But this card is a tremendous card. A lot of people still think this is the nicest looking year for refractors. I think it just changed the paradigm. It made the idea of tiered sets just cool, and kicked up a lot of things. So this is pretty groundbreaking. When I saw this card first time, I just had tons of lust for the gold refractors when I first saw them as a kid. Because again, this is when I was still in high school. Actually, I was just sort of like 1 year, like sophomore, junior, in college. So when these first came out, so just beautiful cards, and just something. As a kid, I tried to put this whole set together, not the refractor, just the gold set, just to get all the gold cards. That was like a cool thing as a kid, and it was hard. The cards, you get one gold card a box, so, and you don't get one gold refractor in a box, you get one gold card, and then you get a refractor, I think, every 4 boxes. So it's just tough to put the set together. So there it is, guys. That's my mail day. A lot of fun cards. This is like one of my most fun mail days, just because of the eclectic nature of it. The autograph, the number to 100, the Noise Boys, which I just love that card. I mean, there's just so much fun stuff in this mail day. A lot of really nice insert cards to get graded. Stuff that's rare, hard to find. Just cool cards all around. So a lot of fun. My mail days aren't this diverse always. So this was just something I wanted to share with you guys, and hope you like it. And I'll see you next time on Cards and Comics. Bye.